Hello, listeners of the Art Versations podcast. Very nice and matter of fact this week. Roll the intro music.
Hi. My name is. Hi. My name. Hi. My name is Broadway Classic.
Let's hear it.
Welcome back to another episode of Art Versations, or welcome if you have somehow come upon this podcast show. You rock. Thanks for tuning in. I'm happy you're here and happy to share another episode this week. I'm Bri, like the cheese, your host, and I'm realizing as we go more into this quarantine life that we're all living, it really is the small joys in life that bring us pleasure. And today, my small joy was that I put on a dress. You know, it's very contrasting to the sweatpants and hoodies that I've been wearing so far, but it was just a nice little small joy. And speaking of joys, here's an episode featuring a very joyful human, Stephanie Wilson. She's a triple threat performer and a choreographer, and I met her while judging dance competitions last spring. And so it was really nice to catch up and see how she's keeping creative, because we haven't seen each other in almost a year. And we recorded this episode about 3 weeks ago. But I wanted to share it with you, so please enjoy episode 16 of season 2.
And he's like, Mom, do you have any cat print? I'm like, what? I was like, don't worry, I got you covered. So.
Hi, Steph.
Hi.
How are you?
I'm good, considering. Yes. How are you?
Yeah, considering all of this, I'm okay. I'm taking it day by day.
Yeah.
You know, it's all you can do, I guess.
Yes. Yeah.
Are you? And you're with family right now? You said.
I am. Yeah, I'm at home
Good.
right now. Actually, I'm away from my fiance. I don't even know if I told you I got engaged.
Yes, I saw. Congratulations.
Thank you. But it's been really, really hard, like on relationship. On
For sure.
like not on us, but it's, you know, it's hard to not see him and not be with him. And so yeah, I'm going a little crazy in my house, but
Yes.
I'd rather be with people than be alone right now. So
Mm-hmm.
there's two sides to everything.
Yeah. Are you, Zooming or FaceTiming a lot with people? I'm assuming that's how you connect?
Yeah, a lot. Yeah. And my close, it's funny because times like this really show you the people that you talk to the most and the people that, you know, mean so much to you, because they're just the people I'm always drawn to first, to be like, let's talk, or let's get together, or let's, you know, whatever, over Zoom or Messenger or FaceTime, because and they're right there for you, right? So it kind of is, I don't know, there's good things that have come out of this craziness too, realizing you don't really need as much.
Oh my gosh, yeah.
Like you don't need to spend so much money, and you don't need to, you know.
Yeah, you get kind of into this like simplistic, minimalistic way of living.
Yeah.
I definitely feel like I've been trying to like eat all of my pantry food, you know,
Yes.
like
all the soup.
Yeah, so much soup and tuna and cans and stuff. But I mean, yeah, it kind of shows you we don't need to live so complicatedly or complexly, right? Like we can bear down and connect to the people that like you actually want to connect with. And
well, exactly. Yeah.
Like I feel with you, obviously.
Yeah.
Like we haven't been able to be together, and this around this time would be when we were judging together, hopefully. And I mean, by the way, I'm wearing your socks. I know people can't see, but I was like
in pajamas.
I love them so much. I needed to put them on. They're so cute. I never forgot that. But when you just like came up and brought me socks, I was like, this is the nicest human.
I love fun socks.
I mean, in terms of like, if you are still creating or able to be creative, how are you doing that? How are you navigating that through this online world?
Yeah, I'm pretty decent with technology, like not great, but not awful, which is good, because otherwise, like, I don't know how I'd survive during this time.
Totally.
but yeah, so I was telling you, I work for Smile Theater, which is an awesome um, non-for-profit organization. And so majority of our work and shows are like our focus is on senior citizens. We go into old age homes, residences, retirement centers, like all those places that are strictly like nobody can go to right now.
Right.
And so it's been extra difficult because the whole basis of the program is to help seniors feel not isolated and to bring like joy to their day. And so this time my heart goes out to them because they must feel so isolated. And on the news, you know, I keep hearing the different homes affected in the area and in the GTA, and so many of those homes I have so many friends in, like so many senior friends in. So it's heartbreaking to hear like everything happening.
Mm-hmm.
So to stay connected, what they've done and I've taken a part in is sing a song for a senior. So
Oh,
everybody that's like worked for Smile, or even if you haven't worked for Smile and you're a performing artist, you can record yourself singing a song, and then you can either put a special message on it if you want it to go to a home in particular, or you can just make it a general one. And they have a big folder of all these artists doing all these songs and these messages for the seniors, and the staff plays them for them. So I mean, it's not as great as being there, obviously, but it's pretty cool that they're still doing that. And they are also doing, we have a serenades program, and
yes, I
they're
saw.
doing like a virtual serenade. So they would get together on something like Zoom, and someone would walk around with an iPad and go room to room still. So it's harder. And
Wow.
I feel like that generation too does not connect well with electronics a lot of the time. So it's harder, but it's still happening. And I think that's super important.
Yeah, even just like the gesture of saying, "Hey, I'm going to take time out of my day to
Yeah.
perform for you or connect with you." Now, is it something that, anyone can do to submit a song for a senior, or is it just in your group?
Yeah, if you like their page on Facebook, it's advertised, and you can donate towards it or you can sing towards it. But I really, it's not like strictly people from Smile. It's um any kind of artist that wants to do that. So you could do
Oh my gosh, I
it.
will. That
Yeah.
sounds lovely. I mean, obviously I want to sing, but I mean, just to know that it's going out and into
Yeah.
this. And you said either a specific person or like a building, like
Yeah, like
a whole group
sometimes,
of people.
you know, like my nan was in a retirement home in Newmarket, so that home is really special to me. So maybe I'd like my intro would be towards that home, but if you don't do an intro, then you can send it to multiple platforms, multiple places. Um, you
Wow.
know, so I recorded White Cliffs of Dover because a lot of the times, well, I feel like the song's pretty appropriate for right now, but the wartime music is always a big hit with
Of
the
course.
seniors. So
What kind of reaction have you been receiving, or even when you are in person with this demographic, who can't perform, or maybe can't stand up and do the thing? What kind of reaction do you get from them as you're performing?
it's always different. I always say like Smile Theater will prepare you for anything
Mm,
because the first tour I did with them, you know, people shout things out the whole time. They think
wow.
they're like, I'm watching a movie. You know, it's so funny. Like their phones will go off and they'll answer. They'll be like, I'm just watching a movie, or like eating popcorn or slurping freezies, or like, you know, and
Yeah.
it's loud. They're like, it's too loud. Then you also get these like beautiful moments of them like cheering and being like bravo and like singing along at the top of their lungs. And
Oh,
um it's amazing. And you hear like afterwards, even if someone kind of looked like they didn't enjoy it the whole time, you talk to them afterwards, and they were so like moved by it. A lot of the time people connect with it. And if, you know, we have really, they're very honest senior citizens. They've got
I
nothing to
bet
lose.
the worst
Uh,
critics there.
yeah,
Yeah, yeah.
we've met a lot of people that were like, I I did a wartime show with Smile, and I met a woman that was a wartime performer and a dancer. And actually, I met
Wow.
a couple and different people like I love asking them what they did for work and, you know, what their favorite songs of the era were. And then it's just really cool. You can sit and chat and sing with them after.
So much history involved. And
Yeah.
yeah, and I guess like performance back then is so different than it is now, especially with technology and stuff.
Yeah. The nice
Yeah.
thing too is like, it's not, I find like sometimes theater for younger kids or for an older generation can be very like condescending in a way.
Hmm.
And it's not like that. Like we do our best. It's a professional team of equity people, professional actors, and we do our best to go in and give them the quality of a live performance. And so at first some people don't know what to expect, and then
Hmm.
like they don't know that we're going to sing and we're going to dance and we're going to interact with them. And sometimes we interact in the show with them and they don't know what to expect, but it's so lovely to watch and to hear their appreciation and just to see them like light up,
Yeah. Well,
you
even
know.
the name itself, Smile Theater, like
Yeah.
already I'm like, oh, I want to be, I want to watch this. I want to see how it brings me joy. And for people, like you say, in an elderly demographic, they rely on that. Maybe some of them are very lonely and they need that
Yeah.
connection. So you kind of
Yeah.
go back to the basis of like theater in itself as an exchange.
Oh, of course. It's
Right?
totally what theater is to me. And you know, and you go back, and I have a pretty good memory with names and faces. So you go back and I'll be like, "Oh, John, it's so nice to see you." And it's like, "You remembered my name." I'm like, "Of course." Like, because they don't realize that they make as big of an impact, or if not bigger, on us that we do on them, right?
Wow.
So it's pretty cool. Yeah.
That give and take, the back and forth. Yeah. Yeah, you said it's in a video, it's the reason you do theater.
Yes, I did say that. It's
Like
true.
what a powerful thing to have in your life that you can like turn to and say this is like such a genuine exchange of love and passion.
Yeah. I've never done anything else like it, to be honest. And like, yeah, you know, it'd be so great to like have your name in lights and like, you know, be well known and this and that, but that's not why I do theater. Like the emotional and like physical response from our like seniors with Smile and all that, and like seeing how it affects people and their families too, because sometimes their families are at the home, or if they know we're
Mm.
coming that day, they'll come by. And you know, one man said after we did a show, the man said, "It's the first time I've seen my wife smile in over a year."
Oh my gosh.
So it's like, and you just want to break down, right?
Yeah.
But it's, you got to like hold it together. And then after we get in the van and we're like, ah, like, this was so beautiful. And,
Oh my
but
goodness.
yeah, it's just really special.
And even just like that one little moment where he could see his wife cry, like I'm
Mm,
sure it had such a big impact,
yeah.
right?
Oh yeah. Yeah,
Hmm.
for sure.
Oh
So
my gosh. What like that's I'm so like sad that because of all of this pandemic issues, we haven't been able to be in person with each other, because I think that's
yeah,
such a great thing about theater is that it's live, or at least it's an exchange, like we're saying.
yeah.
With the online performances that you're doing with like sing a song for a senior, or even
Right.
just like your serenading program that you guys do, like when you sing for them and let yourself be vulnerable in front of them, do you find that they break down their walls or
Well,
become
it's
vulnerable
hard because like
themselves?
we haven't seen, like I haven't seen their reaction to those videos because we're not there.
Oh, I see. Okay, so it's not live. Yeah. Okay.
It's not live, no. I think that'd be really hard. Like some of the serenades are live. I haven't serenaded live,
Okay.
but the lag when you have like multiple people is really hard in the videos.
True.
So we've like pre-recorded some, but you know, they're they're very genuine.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess that's the one thing about Zoom or like online. There's always that lag, that like that
Yeah,
filter that
I know.
separates us, you know?
But at least like having the video, it's like, well, if not everybody's there, like you can also play it again, or if they're like, oh, I
Mm.
want to hear that song, you could go back to someone's video. So that's kind of an advantage that they have, and now they'll like have them in their arsenal, to use. So
Mm-hmm.
which wouldn't be the same in person, really.
Right, right.
So yeah.
It is what it is, I guess. And
Yeah,
you're doing your best to keep it alive during this time.
exactly.
I think
Yeah.
that's great. Let's talk a little bit more about you, because I want to hear about like what you've been using this time for, whether it is creating on your own or taking a step back from creating by yourself. Like
Mhm.
what has been keeping your inspiration alive?
Well, so like I said, I got engaged. So in we're trying to do all the wedding planning we can
Oh my
through
goodness.
virtual. We're like calling and being like, look at this link. Should we put this on our registry? And like it's hard though. It's hard to like plan and continue to plan for something that you don't know if it will have to be moved or not, and that kind of thing.
Yeah.
Um,
What was the like date of your
our
wedding? Did you
our
have a
date's the
date?
end of September, so we're
Okay.
hopeful. We're hopeful.
Fingers
We've been in
crossed.
like
Yeah.
contact with our venue and all that, and they're great. So we're just gonna take it as it comes.
Okay.
But I've been doing that, and then yeah, usually at this time I'm doing a big festival of plays at St. Andrew's College
Mm.
in Aurora, and I take part in that every year. And so at first we usually start working in uh, the very end of March. And so obviously
Right
that wasn't
around.
happening right around,
Yeah.
everything was shutting down, and I was like, oh great, well, it's like a lot, it's a part of my income every year.
Mm-hmm.
And so that's been hard, like thank goodness for the CERB.
For sure. Yep, me too.
Yeah. But the director at the school came to me and was like, you know what, like we're going to make it happen online. So we've been doing a bunch of Zoom meetings with everyone. And what I'll do is, so basically it's kind of like handography, another career in my choreography.
Yeah.
So I'll create a video for the kids and make it as active as possible, but they have to all film it on their own, and it's got to be like as clean as it can. So a lot of it is kind of like close to the screen like this.
Okay.
And then some sections they'll get up and like zoom back and do a little like kick line or whatever. But yeah, so I'll do the videos on my phone and then flip them. So when they're watching them, it looks like their right hand, right? They're mirroring me. They
Okay.
learn them off my YouTube videos. And then we rehearse every Sunday, and we do little breakout rooms, and then we go through all the choreo, and then they get all dressed up, all dolled up, which feels really nice to do once in a while.
Definitely.
And then yeah, we film it. They film it individually, and then they record their audio separate, and they're getting all edited. So we're doing like a mini musical, which is super cool, and
So
honestly
cool.
really, really inspiring to see these kids, because they're still doing online classes too, these kids, right?
Right.
We're working with grades, actually probably grade 8 to 12 in this musical.
Okay.
And so they have a lot of other stuff on their plate still, but they come together and they're so happy on Sundays, and they're working really hard, and it's really beautiful. I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
It's like very emotional, because it's like, yeah, the show must go on. It's like the
Right.
show must go online. So we're doing that. And then I also am teaching in a couple drama classes through Zoom as well, doing little pieces centered around COVID-19 and Brave New Works, we're calling them. And I am also creating a piece, which I've never done before. So I'm working with,
Hey, that's
yeah.
amazing.
So I'm working with two of the kids. One of the kids, it's his graduating year, and I've worked with him since he was in grade 9. And his girlfriend, who lives on the school property because her dad teaches there. So I love them as artists. They're such great artists. They're such great people. And I wanted to do something special for his final year. And I
Aw.
said, let's do a piece together. So it was originally going to be a piece about their relationship, and now it's turned into a piece about their relationship during the pandemic.
Okay.
So
Which has shifted, I'm sure.
which has shifted, and there's some dance in it, and there's some like uh, kind of videos of like it's March 18th. This is the day I was supposed to da 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 da. And
Mm-hmm.
so it's really cool because I'm getting both of their perspectives. And I mean, I've never really edited a video together and all that kind of stuff. It's all very new, but it's really exciting, and it's just so relevant, you know?
Totally. Yeah.
So yeah, it's exciting. I mean, I'm
So many
happy to
different
be
things.
I'm happy to be involved in any way I can in like the art that's available to me right now, but it
Yeah.
it has been hard. I've done a lot
Yeah.
of puzzles, done a lot of
Nice.
coloring.
Same.
Yeah, but we take the opportunity where we can, right?
Your cats are keeping you company?
My cat, yes, she is. She's been rummaging around at night, keeping me awake.
She's probably going crazy too a little bit.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. She's like, "Why are you guys home all the time?"
Yeah. Does she go for walks or do you take her out a little
No,
bit?
she
No,
likes to
yeah.
go on the back deck, but we try not to let her out because she never wants to come back inside.
Okay.
Um,
An outdoor cat.
no, she's mainly indoor. We only let
Okay.
her out on the back deck, but that's her like adventure time.
Yeah. She's like, finally, I can be released from all of you guys.
Yeah. Yeah, lots of
Okay.
like purging of clothes and,
Hmm.
cleaning and all that. But
Stuff that like you wouldn't have had time for,
well,
but
yeah,
probably needed to do.
exactly.
Yeah.
And even with not having so many other things to do, it's still hard to find the motivation to do a
Yeah.
big cleaning project.
Totally.
I'm like, I have all the time and I still don't want to do
Yeah,
it.
exactly.
Yeah.
I mean, have you been binging TV shows or
Oh
finding?
gosh. Yeah. I have this huge craving to go like antique shopping, like
Ooh.
yeah, like what do you call it? Like flea market.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, and me and my sister have been watching American Pickers. I don't know if you've ever seen that show.
Oh no, is it like I'm sure it's a reality show about
It's these guys, and they're very into cars, but they have a shop, and their wife does like the research, and she sends them on their way, and then they go and visit all these people that collect either like old car memorabilia and like old cars, or like things from a carnival, or
hmm.
and they go and they look at the stuff, and they're like kids in a I don't know, at Christmas. They get so excited, these middle-aged men, to find like an old rusty Ford sign. They're like, do you know how much this is worth? And like they make them offers. So it's cool, but you learn a lot about the products and the pieces. So,
And the history, I'm
and the
sure, around all
history.
them.
And
Yeah,
it just
yeah.
makes me want to go thrift shopping.
Maybe some inspiration for your wedding and
I know. My sister's
yeah.
like, we're gonna go out and buy all these used car signs, and be like, what were we doing?
You could keep it company on the walls or something. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. So yeah.
Yeah, so many things you're doing. That's so great to hear. Like I mean, everyone's taking this time differently. I think some people
Yes.
will, decide, what, I'm gonna, unless it's obviously their job or something. Some people are like, I'm just gonna not do anything creative. I just want to, take a break from things but I mean, there's always the Netflix shows and stuff that we can
Yeah.
binge. But yeah, you have like so much going on, and I'm wondering too, like even with your wedding, like going back to like planning that, like
Hmm.
has that been more creative in some ways because you like can use
Yeah.
that all of your inspiration for that?
Well, yeah. And like, well, that's the thing. It's like, okay, how do we do this together when we're not together?
Right.
So just, and that's what I'm thankful to for things like Zoom and just having a phone and being able to, put them on speaker and go through things. And we've got like online documents so we can edit them ourselves and the other person can see. And, you know, it's good. It's kept us very organized, I think,
Okay.
which is cool.
That's
Um,
good.
but some things are hard because some people, will reach out to vendors or whatever, and they don't want to commit to something right now because they don't know, right?
Yeah.
So that's a little bit tricky, but overall, I think we're in a pretty good spot.
Nice.
So yeah, I think it's nice to have downtime going back to what you were saying about some people wanting to like take a break from being creative,
Mm-hmm.
I find that even if I am like doing that on purpose or not, it just something finds a way to be like, boom, like creative, like I don't know. I love that I have different outlets right now, no matter how like small.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
So it's it helps. It's that thing. It's like dance, you
Mm-hmm.
dance when you don't have the words to speak or
Right.
express, and same when you sing and that kind of thing. So I feel
Yeah.
bad for the kids that it's their graduating year. I feel pretty bad for them. Like we don't get our prom and we don't get or even like a grad from college or whatever. That's hard. That sucks.
Mm-hmm. Yep. I'm going through
Are
that.
you going
Yeah.
through that? This is your
Yeah.
grad year?
This is my last year. Yeah.
Oh no.
But like there's, if I was in like middle school or high school, like this would be the only thing I would live by, right? Like
Right.
finishing school. For me, like school was always something that I could turn to, but I had other things going on.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's a weird way to close. Like it feels sort of
Incomplete,
not
probably.
closed.
Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah. And it's really inspiring actually to hear that the kids that you're teaching, your little hand gesture videos to and
Yeah.
stuff like that, they're willing to, put in the effort to make the video. And it sounds like they're able to come together and do this because this is like the only thing they have, right?
Yes, that's exactly it.
This is their
And
form
it's
of
so
expression.
unique. It's so unique. Like, and we talk about it every week, and we're so grateful to them for doing it, but
Mm.
they really want to do it, and they put in the effort, and they learn the stuff, and then they'll message me. They'll be like, can you give me a Zoom lesson on it? I'm not getting it. I'm like,
What?
absolutely.
That's so
I'll
great to
meet
hear.
with them, and I'm having trouble uploading my video. Oh, send it to me, let me help you. It's a lot of work on our end, on the creative team, like me and the musical director and the director, but it's so worth it. Like, I can't wait to see the final outcome of it all.
Same. Is it
Yeah.
going to be public at all? I'd love to.
I don't know if it's going to be public or if it's only going
Mm.
to be public for the school, because
Right,
usually
right.
like you have to come to the school, but it's May 6th, 7th, 8th, I believe. And it's at St. Andrew's College. So there might be a link. If there is,
Okay.
I will definitely send you one, but
Please do.
I don't know if anybody can watch it or if you have to be through the school. I'm not sure.
Right, yeah. I mean, obviously I don't want to like,
No, I'd love for
influence
everybody to
myself,
see it.
but
I'd
yeah,
love that. I'm not sure, so I don't want to promise anything.
for sure, for sure. Yeah.
Yeah.
So and you said it's like it's a bunch of videos that are being edited together so that like, are they all each of their videos is going to be playing at the same time?
Yeah, so like that like old like Hollywood Squares game show. Did you ever see that?
Maybe, possibly.
You're probably too young for that. The well, like on Zoom when you have like multiple squares all over your
Right,
screen.
yeah.
Okay. So it's gonna be like it'll be like that for some parts, and then other parts like will go to like two people. So you'll have like one person and one person, and then it'll like flip out. But if everyone's going like this, like showbiz hands at once, then it's like everybody singing on the screen. And our voices are all edited and mixed together by our musical
Okay.
director. And then yeah, it's pretty cool. We saw a little snippet of the opening number, and I even put some tap in there. So it's like all the girls that could tap. I was like, find a wooden floor and taught them the tap, and they got someone to just tape their feet or set it up so they could just tape their feet. And so there's like a little tap break in the opening number. I was like, Mom, we have like 6 pair of tap shoes. We're filming 6 different times. So it's just like all these feet in different shoes, but a lot of them are the same people.
No one knows. It's the
No one
magic
knows.
of
I
editing,
didn't
yeah.
just say that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, no, it's really great. And the kids, like, yeah, we're doing we're doing Tomorrow from Annie, and we asked them to do, if they had an outdoor space or a backyard space, to do a shot of them doing something that brings them joy outdoors. So it's been really cool to see like all those different little snippets come in, and just talents I didn't know kids had, or
Yeah.
but just that extra effort too, to be like, yeah, totally gonna film this. And
It
yeah, it's
sounds like a
really great.
game changer.
Yeah.
Like, because I mean, I don't think I've ever actually like seen this before. Like,
Yeah, well, you know how they did the COVID concert on TV?
yes, with all the like big
Like,
stars and
yes,
stuff,
yeah.
right?
Elton John, and I'm Still Standing, and like all that. Yeah. It reminds me of that, but like way more of a big production.
A full musical, you said?
Yeah,
Like,
well,
are a
it's
lot of musical numbers?
yeah, it's all musical numbers. It's all
Oh my
numbers from
gosh.
musicals. So there's not like a script necessarily in between, but it's all like inspirational numbers for this time. So like Somewhere, West Side Story,
Right.
and yeah, I Dreamed a Dream, The Best of Times Is Now, uh, all that kind of stuff. There's some comedic stuff in there too. Like there's a lot of stuff on YouTube where people have been like taking songs and making comedic
Yeah.
versions of them. So we're we're going with some of those, and
Actually, one I was
I,
just thinking of one I saw was Go the Distance, but it's I can social distance or
oh
something like that.
no, I haven't seen that one.
Such a
There's
parody, you know?
there's like one of this guy doing Quarren Queen um instead of oh my gosh, Dancing Queen.
Okay. Oh my goodness.
And so what I had to do was, so this kid, this one kid, he's so great, he's game for whatever, and I'm like, do you have any wigs at home? He's like, no. I'm like, okay, do you have any like animal print, because it talks about Tiger King, and
Of course.
he's like, mom, do you have any cat print? I'm like, what? I was like, don't worry, I got you covered. So I drove to this school, and their driveway, they have this long driveway and it's like shut off. So one of the kids had to come down. So I drove to the school with this bag of like sparkly disco dresses and tops and like animal print dance costumes and like different wigs. And I like put it down, walked 6 feet away, was like, here you go. And I got all these pictures, and I was like, wow, like he looks better in every single outfit than I ever could. And it's
Aww.
so funny. And so he just went for it and does this whole video, and it's great. It's cool to have those little snippets where people can really laugh and like, you know, and then have those
Mm-hmm.
serious moments too. So
Yeah,
I just think
it's such a dichotomy of like it's the best time but also the worst time, right? Yeah,
exactly,
yeah. Mm-hmm.
exactly. There's things to take from, there's a lot to take from it, but there's, you know, there's things that I'm like, well, you know, in this way it's kind of a blessing that's happening right now, and in this way it's just like super scary and unknown. So
Mm-hmm.
but I'm really excited to see everything come together that
Mm-hmm.
I've been working on and have been lucky enough to be working on. So
And making trips to schools with
yeah,
animal print bags and stuff,
with
like
with
the
shiny
extra
winglet
effort.
tops. Yeah, yeah.
Oh,
So
okay. I'm just imagining you like putting the bag down and
oh
then
yeah, like in
walking
my
away.
in my like homemade mask, like
What a time we're
being
living
like,
in.
enjoy,
Yeah.
send me pictures.
It's such an extra task that you never thought you'd have to do.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh man.
So
Yeah, I mean, we know each other through judging competitions, and you told me that you were just at the cusp of, as the pandemic was breaking out, you judged a competition.
mm-hmm.
And well, I mean, my first question is like, was everyone there? Like, did all the
um
studios show up?
yeah, it wasn't a huge comp, it was a 2-day comp.
Okay.
But it was like very much at the beginning of comp season. So some, I mean, there's always like some kind of an injury, so they have to pull some numbers and that kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, no, like for the most part people were there. It was just not a huge comp.
Okay.
But
Right.
so
That's good.
I don't know if that meant that there were more and then some dropped out, but there was a fair amount of studios.
That's
It
good to
just,
hear.
yeah, it's funny at comp now, like there's just so many duets and solos. Like there's
Yeah.
really hardly any group numbers, which are my favorite. So,
Mm-hmm.
but you're giving them all this feedback, and you don't want to be like super, super harsh because it's the first comp of the season,
Mm-hmm.
but you want to give them all these things they can work on and they can go away and use. And it's hard to think about because all of a sudden, like all their studios are shut. And
Oh, like,
and like
ugh.
I teach adult dance with adult tap and jazz with my mom in Newmarket, and
Fun.
the studio's closed, and even there, like, I miss dance. Like, I
Mm-hmm.
miss, and we'll have like a Zoom meeting every week, but we don't do a class. They don't want to do a class at home. They don't have the space, and they don't have that. They just put their tiaras on and come with a glass of wine. The best kind of teaching. um,
Drink and dance. It's, it's
yeah,
all the
yeah,
same.
I love it. I love it. But yeah, it's hard, and I feel bad. It's like, parents spend all this money, and then it's with the comps. It's
Yeah.
like, well, are you going to get a refund? Are you going to try and move the comp? If you move the comp, maybe it conflicts with another comp, and it's just, what a complicated mess. Like, Carrie, who we work for, I just feel
Mm-hmm.
so, I'm like, I can't imagine how stressful the time has been for her trying to figure things out. And
Yeah. I saw that she
anybody
was
that
thinking
runs.
of like postponing Dance
Yeah.
Fest and
Hmm.
what that means, like for competitions to be going on in July and August, right? Like
Right.
that's not the regular season that we're used to. And I mean, yeah, it came at a time where like everyone was ready to go,
Yes.
right? The costumes were probably done by, at this point, and choreography was all finished. And then, these
It
kids
was like
are,
boot camp, March break, and then
yeah,
comp,
yeah, like
like,
it could not have come for these kids who are training so hard for these competitions, right? This
yeah,
one thing that they're going to go and compete in. It kind of shows me, as like I'm teaching, that I tell my kids, like, you don't have anything to be working on except for yourself, right?
yeah,
Like, it's not about a trophy. It's not about being at the same count as everyone in the group, because now it's just you in
yeah.
your house. And I watch them sort of navigate that feeling of like,
Which is
well,
hard
I
to
don't have a teacher.
understand. It's hard
Yeah.
to understand too, like, especially because a lot of them are like, what, the oldest usually in class is what, around like 18 maybe,
Right.
and it's, even at that point, it's like hard to understand how to like focus and zone in on you as an artist and what that means and what this means. And
Totally.
yeah, I feel bad for the kids, and it's like, well, are you going to take those numbers and just do them next year? Or like, are you going to get to do those numbers? Because now they've spent all this time creating this beautiful art, and it's barely been seen, if not, right? Because some of them
Mm-hmm.
don't do some of the first comps.
Right.
um so it's, and I see posts of people teaching on Zoom, and then like people like doing combos and things like that, but you can't really teach a group dance on Zoom.
No,
Like, as
it's
much
not the
as you can
same.
try, it's not the same, because they're not doing it all together. You're not like listening to each other's breath and moving with each other and like feeling the vibe off of each other. You're like you said, it's like your own entity, right?
Yeah. No, completely.
So it's yeah, it's a lot, but I hope that, well, and it's hard too, because you move things into the summer. That's when like the nationals are, if anybody's traveling to the States, or
Yeah.
and when people do their family vacations. So now all of a sudden you had a group of 8 and now it's a group of 6,
Mm-hmm.
because 2 people just can't be there, you know.
Changes it completely.
Yeah.
And I wonder too, like there's excuse me, I've been seeing online dance competitions or submit your solo for feedback kind of thing.
That's cool.
And yeah, I don't know if you saw, like some people are doing that, not all the competitions. And I mean, I don't want to like put pressure on people to do that, but
Yeah.
it kind of is for me. I've been thinking about it more, and I'm like, is this kind of where the future is headed? Like, are we all just going to be online now? Like, is there?
I don't like it. I don't like it.
Yeah, me either.
Yeah, I
Call
mean,
us
I
old
get it.
souls, but
I get it, because I get that they're just like trying to make it work and trying to help these kids, and I get that. But for me, like, judging a dance competition, like, it's all about being in the moment, because when it's on video and you're videotaping something, you can do it as many times as you want,
right.
and it becomes like less genuine. And like, if you get angry because you're not getting the take you want, it's hard. And then like, video is so telling. You're singing a song or something like that, or just talking face to face like we are. Like,
Mm-hmm.
it's, you see it in someone when they get frustrated, when they're done, when they're over it. And so it's hard to hide.
Yeah.
And yeah, dance for me is like all about being marked in that moment.
Right.
you
Because
know?
it's like we were saying, it's an exchange, right?
It's an
Like
exchange, and
the immediate.
it's not meant to be perfect,
Yes.
like it's just
Yes
not.
to that. Yes.
So
Yeah.
there's
Yeah.
always,
And I mean, yeah, like you're saying, if they are like trying to get a perfect take
yeah,
of this certain dance, and then, the feedback that they get is a lot of criticism, they're probably going to take that so to heart,
right.
because even that take that they did was like the best they could do, but then, it's not enough. Like I just,
Yeah. I don't like that. I think it's, I don't know. But I get what you're saying, because like
yeah,
more and more technology and all that, and like where are things going in the future? Even if this didn't happen, like is that the way of the future? I totally get that. But
yeah.
that's not my preference at all.
Hmm.
I'm a snail mail, write my letters kind of girl. Like
I love
so
that.
I like the old fashioned things, the in-person things, the real moment things. So
Same.
yeah.
Call us old souls, but I
Amen.
mean, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's the same thing when you're with the elderly people. Like it's
Yeah.
that immediate exchange, and um yeah, I mean, for
Just
me it's
real.
also, yeah, it's the reason I do it as well. Like I think I agree with you on that. It's just that, like, when we're in the moment with these people who can give us a reaction right away,
Yes.
whatever it is, if it's crying, if it's laughing, if it's anger or whatever, right? Like,
Yeah, like
yeah.
those music theater numbers where I just cackle the whole time in the audience. It's like
I
it's
was like
like,
sitting next to you and I just start laughing, and I'm like, I gotta laugh too. It's hilarious.
but I
It's so
love that,
good.
because when
Yeah.
kids hear that, and they do something and it sparks a reaction like that, and then they're like, "Oh, I'm doing it right." And they like unleash this confidence that they've never had. But in a video, like you said, like you don't get a reaction. And then if you do, you don't know that you're getting the reaction because you're
Exactly.
not there to experience it. And I don't know. It's just weird to think
So many
about.
of those beautiful things get taken away
Yeah.
from
But
this.
you've been dancing a lot. You've been creating a lot too.
Trying to, yeah. I mean, I have my little apartment space that I've been sort of opening up to, like, anything that comes my way. Like,
I loved your frog dance.
oh, thank you. Thank you.
You're
Yeah,
like,
that
take
was,
what you will.
I don't even know. I made it in like half an hour. I was like,
I just
some
love it.
reason I'm feeling inspired by these frogs. I mean, I went on a Zoom call with like some Broadway performers were talking, and one of them had frogs at home. And all of a sudden I was like, frogs? What are frogs thinking during this? Right? Like a pet domesticated frog inside a tank. Like, what is he feeling? I wanna talk about him.
I want to physically express for this frog, okay?
I feel for you, man. That's so great. Thank you for acknowledging that. That's really
No,
kind.
it's great. You know what? Like I just that's the thing. Like you're being creative still, and you're still finding that. And so I love that, because
Trying to.
you're super quirky, I
Oh,
think, and
thanks.
I love that. And I love watching your videos of all your self choreo that you do
Thank
before
you.
this as well. But it's really cool because it's like cool to watch it. I don't know if you've noticed, but it shifted a bit. Like your style is starting to shift a bit, and I don't know if
How'd
it's
you know?
but it's probably because of being stuck and like everything, you know what I mean? So it's
Yeah.
cool. Like you go back and you watch some videos of you outside, and then you watch some videos of you indoor, and it's like, I don't know, I love it. It's awesome. It's super artistic, but it's different, and it's cool to watch that journey.
Thank you. I mean, how about you? Like, have you found any since this started? Like, I know obviously the shift to online is
Yeah.
is a huge shift, but has there been any like new pathways or new discoveries that you found in your own creation that is like, wow, I've never known this?
Well, for me, like just the whole like editing a video side is like huge, because I'm taking this beautiful material already that's so raw, and then I get to choose like what I use, where it goes, how I zoom in on it, how I like filter it or don't filter it, how I split the screen, all this kind of stuff. So that's been cool. And I've been way more invested in the last couple of days because now it's like getting to crunch time. So the videos are starting to pour in. I can start pulling them. So
Cool.
that's been cool. I've really, singing has like been more of a thing for me lately.
Yay.
Yeah. And like, it's always a part of my life, but
Yeah.
you know, and having to record these songs and then like listen to them and dissect a harmony and record a harmony and like all that kind of stuff. I'm like, oh, maybe I should get a better recording mic, or maybe I should, you know, but dance wise has been more difficult for me. I've actually been having like an issue with my legs.
Oh no.
They can't figure out what it is, but it basically, they think that I have pinched nerves down the fronts of my legs right now.
Oh, I'm
So it
sorry.
makes, thanks. Yeah, it's been tough. It's like, it makes walking hard, and it sounds
Oh,
stupid, but it's like I walk for like 2 minutes and I have to sit down. My legs are in so much pain.
my
And
goodness.
so I've done like chiropractic treatments and all this blood work and neurologists and this and that. And I still don't have anything yet.
Hmm.
But in a way, it's like, well, this has kind of been a bit of a blessing because there's no way I could go to an open dance call right now. Like I just
Right.
couldn't.
Yeah.
And right before this happened, like I was actually more active and more healthy than I usually am. And because it just feels like my muscles, it just feels like I've lost all my muscle. Like it feels like I'm
Yeah.
just so super out of shape. But I know that that's not what it was, because I was teaching full time. I was like, doing this, that, and everything, and working like multiple jobs, and all of a sudden they just got so bad. So it's been nice that I get to rest them, but also scary because like, well, that's like my future. Like that's my
Mm-hmm.
life. My legs are a big part of what I do. So,
Totally.
but so
And
that's been
pinch
hard.
like nerve injury and nerve damage, like
Yeah.
that's painful. It's not
Yeah.
just like a sore leg or like, a muscle that you tear. Like I could see how that could really almost like take away your joy of how much you love movement
Yeah.
just by this one thing that's just holding you down. Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
So it's been difficult, but that's another reason why the online like musical has been great, because it's focused on upper body and I can still create and teach and watch these kids learn it,
Oh, good for you for keeping
while dealing with my issues,
Yeah. That's so
So,
optimistic.
yeah. Yeah. What about you? Anything else that you've discovered?
I've definitely found like the claustrophobia of being in like a small space weird.
Yeah.
But I get out. I try to like go for walks and stuff, but I know my apartment so well right now because
Yeah.
I could see, I'm usually used to like coming here for sleeping, but now
Yeah.
I like live in my apartment and it's
Is it one room or do you have more than one room?
I have like a living space and then my bedroom and my roommate's room as well, but
Okay.
so there's like, I can kind of walk around, but it's not like I'm taking
Is
that
your roommate with you, or
stroll.
are they at home?
They went home. Yeah, so it's just me. Just me.
Well, at least it's, my best friend's in a small apartment, but everything's in one room.
Oh,
What do you call it? What's that called? Like a bachelor or something?
yeah, studio or something like that.
Studio.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
studio. So she's going, it's like her and her cat. She's like, I can't, I'm done. But I can't imagine like only having one room, and it's
Yeah.
Toronto, so nothing's massive.
No, not at all.
So
Yeah, I think it's just like the four walls. Feeling like I'm always in four walls kind of eats me up. But yeah, I think like you're doing, like you just have to keep an optimistic point of view about it, and whatever is happening right now in terms of our community, in terms of theater, in terms of art, like we're just going to be so much better or so much more aware of what we need to do.
yeah, I think so
Once we
too.
get out of this,
And aware of what we don't need and what we don't need to do.
Yep.
Like it's yeah, it'd be nice to just like go browse through Winners, but I don't need anything there. And like every time I go there, I end up buying something. So it's like I've saved so much money during this time, even though I don't have an income right now. Like, you know what I mean? Like just
Yeah.
me and my CERB and my like savings account. So,
Yeah.
but it's like, yeah, and you don't need to go out because there is always something to eat in your house. Like we were
Yes.
saying, our cans of soup, our cans of corn, and you
It's
know,
not the
cereal.
best, but it is what it is, right?
But and like frozen, like when we do a grocery trip, we'll try and get like, you know, obviously some fresh things. I had a salad. It was the best thing ever the other day.
Nice.
Um, but you know, just frozen things that last. And it's like, yeah, well, I can last on this food for like 2 to 3 weeks.
Mm-hmm.
You know, yeah, maybe my chips are gone in the first week, but you
I
know,
feel that. I feel
yeah.
that.
But
Oh man.
you should do a piece about feeling confined by your walls.
I was like, I also was thinking about the amount of competition dances next year that are going to be like about a
Oh,
virus
oh,
or
100 Mad
like,
World,
yeah.
like yeah, I can just see it now. I can just see it now.
I hope
Like
we,
all the mental asylum, like going crazy. Yeah, yeah,
I
I
hope we
can
get
see
to
it.
like judge together again so we can
I
just
know. Be
like
like, we lived through this too, you know.
call them out, like if their masks come undone or something, right? Like,
Stop. Oh my gosh. Do you remember when that girl went on stage with her ballet slipper, like her over slipper? You know how they have those like sleeping bag things that you put over your ballet
oh
shoes?
my God.
And she came on stage with it on her foot and then
It's like a
realized
booty
it,
or something.
yeah, and realized it was there, and in the opening pose like took it off and chucked it to the back of the stage.
Stop, I'm actually dying. I remember this. Oh my God.
But yeah,
What good times we had. It's just so
I know.
fun.
Is
Like,
all the numbers are going to be in pajamas next year.
exactly. Or like sweatpants and a hoodie to, yeah, Mad World or something like
Yeah,
that. Yeah.
exactly. I know, crazy.
Steph,
But
you're so great. You're so great.
oh, it's so nice to see you.
You too. I mean, like when we first connected, that was my first time judging, and you brought me in and like told me what I needed to know, and like made me feel so calm and so
Oh,
like
good.
welcomed. And I can't thank you enough for that. Really, I
Aw.
can't.
Well, you're so good. I'm so happy. I asked Carrie, I was like, are you getting Bri to judge again? She's like, yeah. I was like, good. She was so good. I'm
You're
so
so
mad that
good.
you didn't get to judge.
I know. It's okay. Pros and cons, Yeah, like I'm sure it'll happen again, and I hope we'll be in the same room again soon. That'd be
Yeah, me
really
too.
nice. I want to give
Yeah,
you a hug and
I
just
know.
thank you for all of your good energy. I know,
Virtual hug. I
virtual
love your
hugs.
sweater. I love
Oh,
it.
thanks. It's my friends.
It's like classic old man sweater. I love
Yeah.
it.
Perfect for recording a podcast.
I'm expecting to see a piece of you like against your wall, confined to a small space. I'm expecting it. Whether it's just for me or for the world, I'm expecting it.
Okay, well, I mean, or I'll can I send it to the seniors? Can I use that? I know it's not a
Oh, I don't
song,
know. I don't know.
but
I don't know if it's just songs or not.
hmm,
I don't know. That's a good question.
I would love to send that to them at all if I can. But yeah,
Yeah, like a dance video. I actually thought about doing like tap in a video that I sent them, and I didn't end up doing it. But um, you can check it out on their Facebook page, and you'll have more info.
perfect. And I'll link all of that down below so people can
Awesome.
check it
Yeah.
out. Smile Theater and the Serenade program as well. That's so cool. Yeah, and I mean, people can check you out on your Instagram, which I'll
Yeah,
also
of
link below.
course.
Do you have a website?
I don't currently know.
Okay, just
Um,
wondered.
but
That's okay.
I post things here and there on Instagram. I've been obsessed with those like I've been so obsessed with those gibberish videos.
The gibberish videos?
The
What?
like unscramble these words. You know how like flicks above your head
Oh,
and
like
it's
the
like
filter.
the filter.
Oh, yeah.
And I just like I'm like, okay, one more.
Yeah.
But I'm like, wow, people are gonna get so annoyed with me.
No, it's
But
keeping you
no,
company.
like I often put pictures and stuff after I finish shows and that kind of thing on or during shows on my Instagram, so you can kind of see what I'm up to, which is cool.
Mm-hmm. And everyone should definitely check you out.
Aw,
For sure.
thanks.
Thank you so much, Steph. This was
Oh my
great.
gosh, of course. Thanks for having me.
I'm going to pause, but we can continue talking. Thank you so much for listening to the Art Versations podcast. If you like what you heard, subscribe, rate, and leave a review to help the podcast grow. As well, follow the podcast on Instagram at Art Versations Pod. That's ARTVERSATIONSPOD. You'll find photos of each of my guests so you can match a voice to a face. Let's keep the conversation going. DM me with your own thoughts about art, as I would love to hear them. I'm always up for a good old-fashioned chat. Till next time.